Welcome, everybody, to Let's Commiserate. I'm your host, Sam.
And I'm your host, Dave.
And let's get to it. You said that you have a surprise.
You want to go right into it? Okay.
Is it not the right time?
This is the right time. It's always the right time.
Okay.
So this has been on my to-do list for a very long time. In fact, actually, I can go through and go to my to-do list app. And, well, there it is. And say, done.
Oh, doesn't it feel good?
It feels so satisfying.
I've been, like, the past couple of weeks obsessively making very detailed to-do lists for each day. And I'm talking, like, breakfast is a check mark item.
Cook
and, like,
eggs.
Yeah, like,
get plates.
take a shower.
Use forks.
Start work.
Wow.
Finish work. Tidy up. But, I don't,
Okay,
it feels good. It feels good to, like, who doesn't like checking something off?
I was listening to the audiobook Atomic Habits the other day, and they talk about when it comes to like spaces, like to clean the space before you leave it. Reset the space. So the thing is, it's like if you like watch TV before you leave the living room when you're done, fix the pillows.
Yeah.
So that way your house doesn't feel messy all the time. And when you go to do your chores, like clean the house, you don't have a long list of things to do, So I'm like, that's kind of my new mindset is reset the room. And I don't think I've ever found so much joy in making the bed before, which I hate. Yeah. Hate it.
Before I was married, I was not a bed maker
at all.
But now there is just a sense of accomplishment. We go in, we don't have to worry. Oh, look, and it just does something. It does something in the right spot. It's still the way you say pillows. I still find so upsetting.
Hello. Hello. It's what you
an
put
E
your head
instead
on.
of an I. That's what you're doing.
I don't know. I've been told it's British.
British.
Like, I've been told, I'm like, I don't know where I would have picked that up.
I imagine them pronouncing the I even more so. I imagine them saying pillow. But
sorry, what was that?
Pillow.
Okay, enough of this shenanigans.
Okay, so you were able to check this off the list.
Shenanigans, this mediocrity. I want to present to you the one and only, the first ever edition. Let's Commiserate. No, I'll let you unbox it.
The first ever Let's Commiserate white cardboard box.
Get out. Stupid.
Whoa. Son, this is gorgeous. It is an engraved mug. That is incredible.
Isn't it amazing?
Man, wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. Okay.
That is what it looks like. I love that it's double-sided because I hate it when a coffee mug only has the logo on one side. And so you're either showing everyone or only looking at it yourself.
Well done. That is beautiful.
It's really, really nice. So I want to actually...
The quality is
it's fantastic.
Insane.
I want to pull up the company that did it.
Okay. Etsy
shop, The Key Treasure. The Key Treasure. So The Key Treasure, props to you. Thank you for our amazing mugs. I was thinking, man, we should just like get a merch page and like put this on the t-shirts. We have the t-shirts and the coffee mugs and nobody would ever buy them. So we're the only people.
I think we're the only ones. We'll have a random handful of listeners who will be excited about this. This is a very important question. Microwave and dishwasher safe? It's not labeled.
Good question. I don't know. Actually, that's a good question.
I'm like, it's only a question that I would ask in my 30s, but it's one that I care deeply about.
Man.
No, it's happened a few times recently where we've been at a store or a gift shop or something, and I've looked and whoa, that is a really cool mug. I immediately look at the bottom.
It's not dishwasher safe.
That's a deal breaker. It's not dishwasher safe.
Oh, microwave safe? Dishwasher safe?
Outer space
12 ounces?
Well, that is the chain that's out.
Space safe?
Yeah.
You can take this mug to the bottom of the ocean or the surface of the moon or the dishwasher.
Or the dishwasher. Yeah. That's
so there you
as
go.
far as I'll be going.
So
even like the buttons on my shirt our
I know. They
engraved
did an
one.
amazing job. So
Right.
their support, like their communication was like within an hour. They got back to me about the logo, about the engravings, and they shipped it. They had like the label created the same day, but I think they shipped it the next day. But either way, like it got to me within like 3 days. So
Well, thank you very much.
yeah,
From the
based
bottom
out
of
of
my
New
heart.
Jersey. So there you go,
Oh,
Key
nice.
Treasure. Thank you so much. I think
David
at
been
this
telling me
point-
for the past like week or two that he was working on a surprise, and he said I couldn't get a hint. The closest he would say was that members of Let's Commiserate would be the only ones to appreciate it, something along those lines. But I will cherish this forever, long after the podcast concludes. By the way, I was surprised by the support we received after I posted that we were ending the podcast. I had not only, comments online, but some of our friends in person asked me. One of them, one of my old coworkers that I would work with, like, doing audio video projects, he said to me, "So the second your podcast starts looking and sounding good, you decide to end it?" And I said, "Yeah, that tracks." But everything.
Yes. Literally the first episode, they were like, "Man, we're so proud of our studio and our microphones and the look and the vibe and the sound." And I feel like our quality has definitely stepped up. We actually care about the material.
Well, okay, I've always cared about the material.
Well, yes.
I don't know. Okay, I don't know if I would say quality has improved. I would say quality has quality of the content has stayed the same. No, the consistency hasn't improved either.
Okay, so
So here we are.
Soundstage has definitely. Yes. That's about it.
Okay, well, it's early, but let's take a break so that we can fill these mugs up. And when we return, we are going to continue with our recap of Maul, Shadow Lord. This time, episodes 5 and 6. We'll be right back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are just talking about our new mugs here, and I love that it's a dual glazed. So at the top, it's dual. It's like different. At the top, it's glazed. At the bottom, it's not.
Yeah, I was asking. I was like,
different texture.
You see this design all the time, and I'm sure there's a name for it. And like you said, glazed, unglazed. Glazed blueberry donut.
And glazed ceramic.
All right, so we are back to talking and discussing Maul, Shadow Lord.
Maul,
Season
Shadow
1,
Lord.
Episodes 5 and 6. This is, man, we really said that we were going to keep up.
There was an attempt. We got the first 4 episodes. Like
we did, and even
it.
then, we recorded it on time, and I still posted it late. Yeah, so I'll be posting these next couple episodes like back to back, and then
we're just gonna get
just
them
in time for the finale, which is this next coming Monday, May the 4th.
Yeah,
I saw somebody commented on Instagram on one of the Mandalorian and Grogu trailers. And they said, "I'm surprised they're not releasing this on May the 4th. You would think that they would try to release something on May the 4th, considering what an important day that is to the Star Wars fandom." And I'm like holding back because there's no point in
trying to
engage people in the comment section. But I wanted to say, the Maul Shadow Lord season finale is airing on May the 4th. I do agree it would have been cooler to release Mandalorian and Grogu on May the 4th, but
I agree.
This works too. But yeah, so we are on Maul season 1 episodes 5 and 6. About that.
Yeah. So this show just continues to amaze me.
Yeah, what are your overall thoughts with these two episodes?
Which one? Episode 4 and 5?
5 and 6.
5 and 6. So we just finished Pride and Vengeance. We're going into Inquisition, which by the name already kind of tells you what's going to be happening.
And I would like to say, I think Inquisition is a good word.
Oh no. Do you really? Yeah.
I mean, Inquisition.
Right, so we've talked about this. If you're a fan of the show, you've known that we've talked about the good word of the episode for a long time. And we've always just kind of mouthed the gong noise, like Inquisition. Oh, pull up the definition.
I don't have my phone on me.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Let me get this for you. a period of prolonged and intensive questioning or investigation.
Inquisition. Would you
But
like
now
to do
we
the
actually
honors?
have a real. That's so satisfying.
No, it's not.
I love it. I love for the first time we actually have a podcast with a joke, a bit.
We have a gong. I remember when we ordered it, the last recording session we did.
Ago.
I thought, I mean, obviously I knew it wasn't going to be the size of an actual gong, but I thought it was going to be like maybe 12 by 12 inches.
This was definitely like a Temu purchase. Like,
yes,
you're like, well, sweet, I'm gonna get a gong. It's gonna
when
be
you
like
found it on Amazon and you told me like it's only $10.
You were like, how?
I was like, wow, that's such a good deal.
In shipping alone, they're losing. And it turns out to be like a 3-inch gong.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Sound, I don't know. I hope you can hear the sound.
I don't know, like with the noise canceling, noise reduction, if they're even going to hear the sound.
Like a tiny little ding.
Yeah, but you know. We've got it. It's a great addition to our space.
I love it. I think actually on camera, it's just going to look.
I think it'll look nice.
Look really, really nice.
So we got Inquisition, and what's the other episode?
So Inquisition, and episode 6 was called Night of the Hunted. So just kind of going through Inquisition.
Well, first, what were your overall thoughts of these 2 episodes?
I loved all of the callbacks. So you look at like the like some of the character designs, the ship designs, like the walkers, and you can kind of place it. So this is probably around 18 BBY. This is going to be like 18 years before the Battle of Yavin. It's that interim period between where the Galactic Republic is now transitioning into the Galactic Empire. So you start seeing like all of the stormtrooper armors changed into that original, like Ralph McQuarrie's like original like sketches for what the stormtroopers look like, that kind of intermediate phase. We see some of the new walkers, the ADTPs, I think they are, which are basically like the sequels to the walkers from episode 3. But the prequels to like the ATSTs from episode 5. I'm boring you with all these.
I asked you for your overall thoughts, and we're getting into.
I love this so much. Anyway, so you get into this kind of open-ended time period between episode 3 and episode 4, where there's so much sandbox. There's so much open ground to be able to play with. So it's so nice to see some of like the original concept art being used. So kind of like a sentimental mood. Overall, the action sequences are super engaging. The character development, I'm having a kind of hard time with. Like Daki, yeah. Devin just seems, I don't know, like I want to like her, but she's making it very hard. Like her character is just like so stoic and Jedi, but also has moments of like emotional connection.
I feel like Devin as a character is just recycled bits of Ahsoka, like early Ahsoka. Even in some of the animation movements they give her, I'm like, she's doing an Ahsoka pose. She's doing an Ahsoka facial expression. That feels kind of recycled. But with these 2 episodes overall, by the end of both of them, I was thinking, so what happened to actually advance the plot? Like, did anything really happen? And then my overarching question is, wait, what is the plot? I was like,
yeah.
What I keep wondering, like, what are we working towards? You know, what is the end game?
The big things that happen progressively is that Lawson and Riley become fugitives with Daki and Devin. Like, that's the real plot progression, is that the Empire is now here. Maul is, he's now not the big dog on
the big bad wolf.
He's not the big bad wolf. The Empire is coming. So now this kind of natural homeostasis that the gangs had with the police.
Ooh, homeostasis.
No, we already used,
but I haven't gotten to use it yet.
Okay, fine. That's another good word.
Is another good word.
That is satisfying.
It does something. Okay, so yes, homeostasis.
So this kind of balance, natural equilibrium between the police and the gangs has now shifted. Now the Empire has become the common enemy between both of them. So now you have the cops that don't want the Empire there, the fugitives that are running away from the Empire, and you also have Maul and his gang of Mandos that are Mandalorians that are trying to flee the Empire. So you have this kind of like common enemy, which progressively through the next series of episodes, Maul tries to use to convince Devin, really like not, hey, I'm awesome, but I can help you get the power you need to fight our common enemy, the Empire. Which at the beginning was kind of she's like, you really think I'm that stupid? And then by the end of like 2 or 3 episodes from now, she's like,
yeah, he's got a point. Yeah.
Well, so that's real. In my head, that's the only real plot progression. You also have the Inquisitors,
the Inquisitioners,
that they see Maul and they report back. That happens a little bit later on. We'll talk about that later. But to your point, there's not a lot of plot, like big plot progression going on.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into the plots of these episodes briefly, but I feel like before we do, we're probably going to delve into it fairly deeply. So let's take a quick break. And when we get back, we'll get into the plot.
All right, welcome back. So we are delving into the nitty gritty of Maul episode 5 here. So they have a reference here where Maul talks about Devin facing off against a hunter, obviously referring to the Inquisitors, but Devin hasn't faced off against them yet. As we know, the Empire is now here on the Janix planet. We have a hard cut to the police headquarters where the Empire has now taken over the police headquarters, and it's just chaos. What's his name? Lieutenant Blake, which is kind of a lame, just cop name.
He is such a Blake. He gives such Blake vibes.
Yeah. So the police chief is taking all of the blame, which does not end well for her.
Kleiss.
Yeah.
Yes, she has a line with Lieutenant or Captain Lawson at the start of this episode. I have mixed feelings on the writing overall, which I'll get into later. But she says to Lawson, well, it could be worse. It's not like we're harboring Jedi or anything. And I was waiting for Lawson to look at the camera like, oh no! Like it felt like such a setup. Like,
he's like, yeah, totally.
And
yeah, it felt that one felt a little on the nose.
Yeah, they take Kleiss. I just want to say Lice. Kleiss in
my spell check, but taking my notes, my spell check had the hardest time with that.
Yeah,
they're like, you mean Kylie?
Klyce. Yeah. But they take her away for questioning. And it was only in that moment I realized, oh, I actually liked her.
She was actually a really good.
Like, she wasn't the most complex character, but I was like, oh, she was cool.
Everyone needs a good police chief, you know?
Yeah.
So then you have a couple of cuts back to like Maul's lair. We have the spy bot that talks about there's so many imps, which I love having, like, you know, slang for the Imperials. They call them shinies and, you know, plastic buckets and stuff. But I did like this one little bit of dialogue between Vario. So Vario, the little gangster, he's like getting all mad. The Empire's here. Like, you're here. The girl's keeping you back. And Maul is like, you're free to leave. And Vario kind of looks around and he's like, the bowels are not so bad.
Yeah. I took that as like commentary from the show writers themselves saying, well, we have nothing left for you to do. You're free to leave. But he's like, but no, let's just keep him. Let's just keep him.
I like him. I think he's hilarious. So we see Kleiss go in for a police interrogation and Merrick is there. So you know that doesn't really end well. Later on in I think in the next episode, they talk about how she was permanently reassigned. What's his name? The one cop is talking to Two Boots, and Two Boots is like, no, Kleiss has been reassigned to a distant, a confidential assignment.
Well, then we see, we go back to Master Daki
and
and
D-A-K-I.
Devin, And we see,
Anytime we say Daki, I just think of Takis and
Yeah.
then I get hungry because
I think of doggy, like a little doggy.
Okay.
Like doggy and catty, like a cat, kitty.
Didn't land.
Anyway.
I don't think it was funny. Maybe they think it was funny.
So, Maul's influence is taking root in Devon as predictably can be. And she, like we said, this is the point where she's realizing, but the Empire is so strong, Maul kind of has a point, and she knows that it's wrong, and blah, blah, blah. We have seen it all before, so I was not invested. But this, there was another great line here. Like I said, as far as the dialogue goes, there are just a lot of great
They
lines.
obviously spent a lot of time paying scriptwriters, not AI, like actually
Not AI.
paying real scriptwriters.
There's a
Granted,
lot of
there are
great
moments.
There are
where you're
moments. Like I feel like
okay.
overall, I wouldn't say the writing is wonderful, but there's just a lot of great one-liners. There's a lot of clunky dialogue sprinkled throughout the series. Like there's one point where, like later in this episode, Daki says something like, "I'm not okay, but I'm not dead yet." And I was like, wait, what is that sentence? But anyway, he does have a great line here with Devon. He says, "The Empire may be our common enemy, but Maul will never be our ally." I was like, ooh, that is a good line. That's a good line.
I also enjoyed his line, "Tyranny is always defeated. We must remain hopeful."
Yeah. I was like, man, at first I thought they were giving all the cool lines to Maul, but they're sharing the love
actually
a little. And
They're saving a few.
yeah, so because I said in our last episode that I'm really not digging the voice acting overall, apart from Sam Witwer as Maul, even Lieutenant Blake. At first I liked his voice acting, but then I was like, okay, he's trying too hard. Yeah. And the protagonists, you could say, all of their lines are just kind of delivered very flat, I find. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll get nominated for a bunch of Annie Awards. But I wondered for a second, well, is it bad voice acting, or could it be that the dialogue is bad and they're just doing the best they can with what they've got? And after good lines like that, I don't think that's the case. I don't think it's
Star Wars has always faced this challenge of bad dialogue. Like in George Lucas's original script, it was so medieval, like the "unto me, ya fair maiden," and you're like, okay, that's a bit much. So you already have the kind of this trope inside the Star Wars universe of awkward dialogue.
Yeah. So I don't think that's the case here, where like the dialogue is necessarily bad. Overall, it's not perfect, like I said, but there are a lot of great one-liners here. So I was like, okay, I think it is just bad voice acting.
I'm just gonna go out and say Dennis Haysbert has been really stealing my attention when it comes to voice acting. So he plays Master Daki, and just his dialogue but I mean, that's what he does. He's done voiceover for games and movies and other stuff. So
Well,
I'm finding it very entertaining.
This was the moment I realized earlier when you and I were getting prepped. I had to look it up. I was like, where have I heard this voice? He's also the All State guy. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's what I'm hearing. Are you in good hands? Like, oh, that's what it is.
Make that meme. Master Daki, are you in good hands?
Like at the end of every fight scene where there's an explosion behind him, he should just look at the camera. Are you in good hands?
He should never say, "Devon, are you okay?" He will always say, "Devon, are you in good hands?"
The Force will be with you always. That's the Jedi Order's stand. Are you in good hands?
Even the Jedi Order needs insurance because bad things can happen to good people.
It works.
Cuts to Obi-Wan. That's why I trust Allstate.
Allstate helped me with my Luke.
Cuts to Mace Windu. What's in your wallet?
I was gonna say, cut to Luke at Vader's funeral. Allstate helped me with my father's funeral expenses.
That's actually pretty good.
Anyway,
Cuts to Lando in the Millennium Falcon. Bostard, help me repair this antenna.
going through the asteroid field in episode 5. Like, you're not really going into an asteroid field, and Han Solo looks at the camera. Well, I've got Allstate.
Who's the Havoc Mayhem. The Mayhem is that
That's
not Progressive.
Is that State Farm?
I think that's State
I
Farm.
feel like it's State Farm.
I would love to have.
I'm an asteroid field headed toward the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, I'm a giant space worm.
We should write them. Maybe they'll sponsor us and we can continue the podcast. Anyway, continue on. Yes.
So Daki and Devin now make it into Janix's like subway station. So Daki's like, there's a small house, there's a small village outside of town. We can hide there until all this passes over. And Devin's like, are we gonna make it? At that point, they get to a stormtrooper checkpoint before they get on the train, and they both just go ham. They like start busting up stormtroopers. They flee. They like hide in the ceiling. So you have this whole chase, but eventually, I think at this point, Maul. I can't remember how it goes. Merrick arrives at Maul's secret lair. So he's starting to investigate, and the spy bot watches him like get into Maul's stuff. We had a little clip there with Riley, who FaceTimes his mom and talks about that his dad got arrested, and the mom is like, literally, she's like, honey, I love you, but I have a lot of work.
She's
I
like,
have to go.
Like, is this like urgent? Is this a matter of life
like,
or death?
your son just called saying his father's in prison.
And I think that's the first and like only time we see her
So far,
in the entire
that's
series.
the
I felt like she
only-
would play a bigger role.
Which I wonder if that's just, a Chekhov's gun being like, hey, she's going to come back in a future episode and she's going to be super important. I'm thinking that. I don't know. Maybe they were just trying to build emotional connection for Riley.
Yeah. But then they are pursued by the stormtroopers after they realize that they've been Jedi mind tricked.
So at this point, we see Merrick using a force memory technique in order to kind of replay the fight. And now he knows there's Maul and there's 2 Jedi. So now he knows who he is following. We cut to Lawson still in jail, who's like, can I get a calf? See the sequence of the previous episodes where this man just drank his body weight.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
Like his desk, there's the one shot, and he has like 20 coffee cups on his desk. And he's now in jail asking for more coffee. Blake says you're free to go. Lawson runs out of interrogation. He gets home only to find Daki and Devin now in his house talking with Riley.
And I think it was just before this, like all of this is happening. And one thing I didn't realize until literally the last 2 minutes of this episode, where's Maul? He had one scene at the beginning of this episode, disappeared for the entirety of the episode, and only showed up in like the last scene of the episode where he's tending to like his brother's wounds. And I said, they totally benched Maul for this episode.
Yeah.
They Book of Boba Fetted him for this episode. I don't know why.
Stop making Book of Boba Fett a thing. It's not.
No, it's a verb.
Happen.
It's a verb now.
It's not gonna happen. Okay,
because
but I agree.
Those are the only two.
He had an entire episode. The man's name is on the poster board. Like if the title.
He only has like maybe a handful of lines in this whole episode.
That's crazy.
And that's when I really like had to take my stand. Okay, this series absolutely did not need to be stretched out into 10 episodes. We did not need to stretch this into 10 episodes. It could have been a 5-episode miniseries.
Okay, I always kind of get mad if they release like a 5-episode arc.
But it would have been packed with actual plot. And I'm like, there was very little, like the plot is advancing like this.
Yes.
Now, granted, people had a similar complaint even about Andor.
Pacing
like the pacing of Andor, like especially when they were doing like 3,
so slow.
Like when they were doing 3-episode arcs in Andor, which I think they always did. But the first 2 episodes of each arc would progress like this, and then the 3rd episode was this.
Yep, pretty much.
Then it was back to this, then this. But what made up for it was excellent dialogue, excellent character development.
Yes.
Here it's Maul is always fun to be around, but I don't care about these characters.
I don't think I would invite Maul to a dinner party, but yes, Maul is fun to be around. He's entertaining.
I forget.
He's kind of like Michael Scott. Like I love watching him because it's entertaining, but I would never invite him over to my home.
Yeah, so, I mean, I would totally invite Maul to my home. But quick tangent. A few weeks ago, we were at this game night with some friends, and I forget the name of this game, but you're all
Charades.
handed no. You're all handed a number between 1 and 99, and then you're given a prompt like, oh, someone you would never invite over for dinner. And then you use your number to put where you think on the scale most people would rate that person. So say, for example, the prompt is someone you want to invite over for dinner, and your number is 99. And it can be a real or fictional person. Nobody knows your number, but you put it face down and say, I'm going to say Darth Vader. Now, most people in the room are going to say, all right, that's probably like a 99, as in, no, I would never invite him over for dinner. So let's just guess that that's a high number. We'll put it at the end. So everybody goes around. Are you following so far?
I'm totally following you.
Arrange the ranking, but nobody knows like each other's number. They've just are guessing. All right, so Sam said Darth Vader, so I'm going to say that's like way at the bottom. No, we would never invite him over. Oh, but we would invite... who's a movie character that everybody loves? Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay. So we would like put in like at the top.
George Clooney.
And then it's only at the end, once everybody's gone, you flip over everybody's numbers. And if they are in a sequential order, then you won as a team. Like, okay,
right.
cool.
Yes,
but if not, like it's really going to depend on your own judgment.
Is that game harder with more people?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
And so we were playing it and I'm realizing I always joke about how my preferences and humor might be darker than others, but I don't really think that it is.
No, totally.
But as I'm laying down things like that, I'm saying like, yeah, Darth Vader, in the sense that I would totally invite
Darth Vader over for dinner.
But everyone is like, no, that's got to be like way at the bottom. And I was like, oh, okay.
What are you, a Jedi?
Just like,
Well, that's...
And they were like, what is with you, Sam? As they're flipping over most of my answers.
You made
and I was
the
like,
team lose.
Yeah, I was like, I thought everybody thought that way.
That's not... Okay, that's what... going off on another tangent. That's what gets me about like games like Family Feud, where they're like, survey says most people say this. And you're like, who says that?
Yeah.
Nobody thinks that, except for the random 3 people that.
Yeah.
You know.
So anyway, that's how that episode.
So that was the episode 5.
Yeah. So let's pick it up
Episode
with episode
5 ends cuts hard to black with Lawson saying, "Oh, you've got to be kidding me."
Yes, because he's got the
Which
fugitives in his home.
He's like, "Oh man, we got to find these people." And then he walks home, and they're right there. So no cap is really needed here. We have the Inquisitors coming. They're in lockdown. Devin and Docky are now.
We're in
Lawson's
episode
home.
6 now.
Episode 6.
Yes.
Night of the Hunted. We have a great opening sequence here where Maul is practicing forms.
Yeah.
And looking at some of the behind the scenes, he actually practices like all forms of lightsaber combat, single-handed, backhanded, double-bladed, like all of the, I think there's 7, including Dooku's, like all of the forms you see within this short. It's like a 30-second sequence. Again, great music throughout this entire episode. We see Daki and Lawson having a grown-up talk, where Devin and Riley go into his room and he's like frantically cleaning everything up, and Devin is like totally non-caring.
And it's also in that scene that
making fun of his mom is great.
Well, we also learn in that scene that Imperial lacrosse is called Bodekine.
Bodekine.
Bodekine. Botekin.
Like, you don't know what Bodekine is?
I said, all right, Star Wars, don't try to gaslight me into thinking that this was always a thing.
Not a thing.
This was not a thing. Imperial lacrosse was not a thing.
So at this point, Daki's like, we've survived a purge. We're just passing through. Do you have you're a cop. Like, do you know smuggling routes? And Lawson's like, I got to get you out of here. You're putting me and my boy in danger. Like, you got to go. And at that moment, Merrick arrives. Well, the Inquisitor.
Yeah. And at that point, I could have watched an entire season of this. Them having to harbor 2 Jedi fugitives in their tiny apartment.
That sounds like a great sitcom.
That is comedy gold right there. Like, all right, Daki, it's your turn to clean the bathroom. No, you can't just force clean. I want you to actually go and scrub the refresher. Okay.
Can I get a calf? You know, the whole, just like the whole.
And Daki being like, I already cleaned the bathroom. Like, there's so much potential.
Devin, the Force is not to be wasted like that. So they escape to the roof. A gunship arrives. I love this bit. Docky looks at Devin and he's just like, transport now. And Devin proceeds to hijack, just runs up and steals the Lardy. And so they fly away. Devin's flying is a bit overconfident, but apparently they're establishing that she's a strong, independent woman and a good pilot. So gunships are bombing the whole area. They crash land, cut to police headquarters. We see Two Boots there. He's like, maybe Lawson will now see the benefit of having the Empire here.
Yeah, and following protocol.
And at that moment, his wanted picture shows up on all the screens, which was comedic.
I was like, there's a setup.
Classic.
And there's the
and
payoff.
it was, I think that one paid off pretty well.
It was
a little,
yeah.
You knew it was coming.
Yeah.
It showed up.
Also,
cuts to the downtown. I had a whole bunch of information about the walkers here.
Of course you did.
I know you don't care.
Of course, Dave, hey, I care. Do you care?
No, yes, they care.
I'm sure some of you care.
I'll skip over it. Yeah, so...
Also, so is this main Inquisitor, that's Merrick, right? Okay.
He has like medieval armor.
Well, I thought he looked an awful lot like Revan with his mask. I know like the timelines don't match up, but I was like, is this like Revan inspired?
Where do you think they got the Sons of Ren, the
Sons of Ren, Knights of Ren,
Knights of Ren? Where do you
Followers
think
of Ren?
Yeah, whatever that is. Where do you think they got their armor designs from?
That's true. Anyway, go on.
So Lawson brings her to a fellow. I don't even know what the word is. Like he's like, I know somebody. I know a contact that can get us off world. So they go to like this place.
A spacer.
We see an alien that like sees the group and they smirk and we're like, all right, they're up to something. This is called, their species is called a Devlik, Devlikk. I don't think we've ever seen them in animation before. The only other Devlik we've seen was in episode 1 during the pod race. Was Juan Sandage, who raced in the Boon to Eve Classic event. Anyway, fun story. So she is a stoolie, a pigeon. So she calls the Empire. So you already know they have seconds to last. So they get upstairs. Lawson's friend, I forget her name.
Saul? I think it's Rena.
Rena Saul.
Okay,
I think. So she's like, yeah, I can get us out of here. Lawson's like, we need a ship off planet. And she's like, that ain't gonna happen. There's like an Empire lockdown and stuff. At that point, the Empire shows up and she's like, get out of here. Go to my personal garage. Take the elevator. And this is where we see the break. So Docky and Lawson stay behind to fight the stormtroopers. Devin and Riley go up to the garage to escape. So now this begins a whole sequence of events. Things go wrong.
Which, yeah. And it's at the end, Merrick, he goes to have a hollow FaceTime with an unknown figure. Was that Merrick that was having at the very end of this one? Or was it a different Inquisitor? No.
Yes. So Merrick. Okay, so there's a whole train fight here. So Devin and Riley take the elevator. Stormtroopers are already there. Merrick is there. There's a cut where there's a billboard that Devin looks at. If you translate it from Star Wars Galactic Basic into English, it literally reads train station with a big arrow. So you're like, where could they possibly be going? Yeah. We all know. So, I do like this little bit there. Docky's trying to assure Lawson, and he's like, Devin will protect Riley. You have my word. And Lawson is like, is that supposed to make me feel better?
Yeah, I'm like, that means Docky's absolutely like, nothing. Yeah.
Yes. Lawson's like, well, it doesn't. Which I'm like, okay.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Direct.
I realize now, I think I'm getting Merrick mixed up with someone else. I don't know the Inquisitors' names. It's always like, in Obi-Wan. Exactly. In Obi-Wan, it was like, fourth brother, third sister.
It sounds like adopted kids.
Yeah.
Like your, mother's third favorite.
I'm going to call my siblings that from now on.
Okay. So they get to it. So they're fleeing to the train station. Merrick is in pursuit of Devin and Riley. They jump on the train. There is an intense fight. Merrick is basically just like beating down on Devin, like, where is Maul? So it's like, okay, he doesn't care about her. He is really only focused on Maul. And at that point, Maul shows up and he's like, I'm right here.
Yes.
So they start this epic fight. Two-bladed fight. Devin simply just cuts the linkage between the train. Merrick floats off on the train. What do you call those things? The
I don't know.
section of the train.
Oh, the car.
The car.
Yeah.
That just kind of drifts off. Maul turns.
To Devin and Riley because they're stuck with him now.
Yes.
And Devin is like, wait, you're a bad guy. Kind of.
Yeah, Devin's about to fight him,
Yeah.
and Maul just kind of like turns off his lightsaber in a silent assent, like, no, we're cool.
Yeah.
At that point, there's a sequence where Merrick pulls out a holographic
That's what it was.
and he FaceTimes Palpatine.
That I was like, he's talking to Palpatine, right?
I don't understand how it's like do
Yeah.
and play just like, what? I'm on the toilet.
Yeah.
You know, like how does FaceTime work?
I don't know. Hollow time? Is that what they call it?
If you've ever seen Robot Chicken, they have a couple of sections.
There's
with
so much. We should just do a Robot Chicken episode.
So I should.
Yeah. But I was thinking, I was like, whoa, are we getting a Palpatine sighting? Is this?
So
it seems like the right
Palpatine
time.
shows up with the hood and everything. So Merrick is like, I can confirm we've seen Maul, and he's in cohorts. He's in league with 2 Jedi. So now Palpatine knows, and this is, I believe, the first time that, at least in the series that we've seen, that Palpatine is aware of Maul's presence. Like, I think throughout the series, like, that he's been suspicious of him being alive and stuff, but this is the first time, like, no, Maul is still alive.
Yeah.
And that ends.
We'll see if that has
Cuts
any
to black.
consequences.
End of episode 6.
Yeah. Again, there was so much plot, but not any plot. That's my overall take.
So much happened, and yet so much didn't happen.
Yeah. But
I loved it. Like this
Yeah.
this series of episodes. I feel like halfway through the series, like typically around like halfway, I start blurring all the episodes together, and I'm like, yeah, that happened
yeah.
previously.
I feel like we did not need 10 episodes of this. These 2 episodes could have been condensed into a single 22-minute episode.
I think we talked about it in the last series. Like, why did they break up the episodes into 10 episodes and then decide to release 2 episodes per release?
Yeah.
It's like, well, why?
Yeah.
And then the intro, I was going to talk about it in the next episode, but why is the first 5 minutes of every episode a recap of the last?
That's
And
the case
last
with
10 minutes of every episode is the credits.
So essentially you get like 15 minutes of new episode content. That's the case with like every Disney Plus original series, whether it's a Marvel series or a Star Wars series or what have you. I always, skip recap, skip intro, and hopefully we'll get to something actually happening. But
I'm not gonna lie. This was the first. Actually, when we were reviewing episode 8, it occurred to me that I kind of miss the Clone Wars narrator.
Oh,
I miss the fortune cookie and the
Imperial
scroll.
Empire has been,
The Galactic Republic is at it again.
It was
You know,
a formula that you trusted,
whereas
because even if it was in the middle of a 3-episode arc that Clone Wars was doing, he would sum up the previous episodes for you, like Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ahsoka Tano are stranded on this planet.
Last week on this tune in next week for the exciting, that. Whereas this, and actually reviewing my notes before it, the first like 4 episodes, I feel were like really delving into the whole, like gritty cop noir, that kind of like crime drama, which I don't know, I loved. I really, really enjoyed having that kind of that cop cat and mouse between, and that was great. Like that little bit of mystery and stuff. Whereas now I feel like we're just back into an average, plain Jane, Jedi versus, Inquisitors,
which we've seen before. But we'll see if the next 2 episodes actually make some progress. But in the meantime, Thank you for commiserating with us. As always, you can follow us wherever you get your podcasts, subscribe to us on YouTube. Be sure to check out our Etsy shop, Mysteries on Demand, where you can try our Whodunit Party Get games. And as always, you can buy us a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/let's commiserate. Dave, say goodbye.
Get your cup.
Ah, yes.
All right, matey.
You can't buy these mugs. Those are just for us.
Cheers.